Hello, my name is Elena and welcome to my channel. In this channel, you will learn everything around spirituality, self-healing, personal growth, and mastery. I am here to share with you everything that I've learned over the years when I had my spiritual awakening and came about this profound information about who we are, what are we doing on this beautiful planet, what is our purpose, and all of these things are so important at this time in the history of the world and the history of humanity, because we're going through such a profound change and great awakening. And it's my profound privilege and honor to be sharing this with you, and I hope you stay on my channel, you like these videos, so hit the bell button to subscribe, and here we go. Let me share with you, first of all, of how I came about to do what I'm doing. So I'm currently a transformation coach and an energy healer. I work primarily with women. I run retreats in Tulum, and I'm sharing with women these amazing tools and knowledge that can help them flourish in every aspect of the life, whether it's love and relationship, whether it's business, parenting, spirituality, sexuality. There's so many aspects to us, and we deserve to live the best lives. And a lot of people come to spirituality because they want to fix one issue or another in the human life. But beyond all of that, I want to share with you of what I think we are and why are we here right now on this beautiful planet. And in my future videos, just introduce to you more aspects of maybe your purpose is not what you were thinking it is. So let me start by sharing my story. It started in 2015 when I had a job. I had a career on Wall Street. I was a VP on finance in a prestigious bank. And I was sitting in an audience of 200 people, shoulder to shoulder. And we were listening to a presentation by Deepak Chopra. And at the end of the presentation, he was talking about how to be an enlightened leader, how to, master your emotions and things like that. And at the end of the presentation, he was meditating with the audience of 200 people. And for the first time in my life, I meditated, and I've had out-of-body mystical experience when I felt weightless above my body, watching my human experience. And I felt such love and peace being in that state. And that day I understood that I'm not just this physical being, I'm so much more than that. I'm an energy being. So this event rocked my world. The day I came home, I was sharing with my husband that something happened to me profound, and I don't think I'll ever be the same. And what started to happening is that I started to have various spiritual teachers come and got introduced to various books and teachings, and I started to travel the world. I went to sacred sites such as Machu Picchu in Peru, Glastonbury and Stonehenge in UK. I went to Sedona, Arizona. All these very powerful places around the globe, and all of them I felt like I was coming home. I was coming to something, some knowledge, some understanding, some bigger meaning to me, things that start to come back to me, like this knowledge that I couldn't even explain with my logical mind, just this inner knowing as to who I am and what I'm meant to do in this world. A little bit more on a personal note, I live in New York City. I've been married. That's actually, we're going to be celebrating with my husband in a few months, 20 years since we met, which is absolutely crazy how time flies. I have 2 children. A daughter and a son. We live in New York. They go to New York City public schools. I'm very much in touch with what's going on in the world and how everybody's right now dealing with a lot of fears and anxieties and stress and uncertainty. So that's why I feel coming into this channel, I feel more and more is that this information is so needed right now in the world, and I'm here to share it because coming into the spirituality, working with different healers and teachers who passed information to me, who passed knowledge to me. Some of the information I remember because I do believe in past lives. I do believe that we don't just have this one life, that we all came from somewhere and we're gonna be all going somewhere after this life. And I wanna make sure that we all live this life at our highest potential, realize our highest potential, remember who we really are. So that's why I'm so passionate to be sharing this with you, because I left my corporate job, to do this. So as I mentioned, 2015 was the first time where I had that profound meditative, mystical experience in my life with Deepak Chopra. But my life prior to that prepared me for it, because I've had a lot of come to Jesus moments in my life. Just to share a little bit more about myself, I was born in Soviet Union in the 80s, and experiencing life in the Soviet Union at that time, as you can possibly imagine, was pretty dark and gray. There was nobody who would be talking about spirituality or sexuality or creativity or things of that nature. People lived in a lot of fears and anxiety, and just, collectively, as you can imagine, being in the Soviet Union in the 80s and the way my parents felt, it was just not a great place to be. And my father luckily won a green card to come to the United States, and when I was 17 years old, we come to the States. And of course, at that time, my life has changed. I've been going through a roller coaster of being a teenager in itself, and then being in a different country, completely broke. I didn't have any money. I worked in New York City because I couldn't even afford the subway. I got a waitressing job, but I also got into business school, which I graduated, paid for it myself, and graduated with honors. But I worked through pretty much since I was 17 years old, because I didn't speak the language, I didn't have any money, I had no connections, no friends, absolutely nothing. So building myself from the ground up. And when I was actually little, I had a lot of issues with my health, in and out of hospitals. So I would say the first 21 years of my life were pretty hard. And I would work in New York City alone, feeling all the feels and just trying to find myself, or trying to find what I'm here to do and be. By the age of 30, I pretty much cross-check everything that society told me that I needed to have in order to be happy. I was married, I had kids, I had a very high-paid job, I traveled the world, but deep down, I felt that something was missing. And I was seeking for that. I was seeking for what it is, because just doing things that society tells you to do, and nobody was going to be telling you that you're an energy being who you really are, because by definition, by design, if we all would be so powerful, we wouldn't be afraid and follow the matrix, they follow what society is planned for us to do. And we get so seduced by the media, the marketers, the branding, the social media, by so many outside sources telling us that we need to be buying things, acquiring things, looking for validation in other people and other places. So this constant rat race, in a way, that we are all on. And what's happening with us is that we completely screw up our nervous system. I was so burned out. Even though I was making good money, I felt that it was soul sucking to be in a corporate job, and I couldn't deal with this anymore. And I understood it's got to be something to this world more than that. Like, it has to be something else. And I'm so grateful that I've had that mystical experience by trying meditation for the first time. But like I said, some people have that, and some people go through different paths. We're all on our own path, and maybe some people come into these profound mystical experience through psychedelics, or they come into it because they've experienced such loss or crash in their life that they kind of have this catharsis experience where they understand there's something bigger to them than just this physical reality, and they went searching, they went looking. So with me, when I had this one experience sitting in a meditation, I didn't want it to just be this one spontaneous event. I wanted to come back to it again and again. I wanted to feel that bliss. I wanted to feel this joy. And this is when I started to spend a lot of time reading books, start spending a lot of time investing in my own personal development, working with coaches, working with teachers, working with healers. Because what happens is when you come into contact with spiritual teachers, whether it's live, whether it's even like watching YouTube videos like that, because there's a lot of great people sharing profound truth. When you come into contact with this, when you start seeking, when you start asking big questions, when you don't just spend time between what to eat, what to do, how to pay bills, how to lose weight, you know, those mundane thoughts that keep like in our mind all the time. When you start asking bigger questions like what is soul, why we're here, where did we come from, something happens in your brain function, like something happened in the hardware. You start rewiring and you start expanding. Your consciousness starts expanding and you start having these elevated experiences. You can be like, sometimes I wash my dishes and I think about this vastness that I am. I just sometimes get into this awareness state that I'm so above my thoughts, so much above this physical experience. So I want to share more of that, because when you realize who you really are, absolutely everything changes in your life. My relationship with my children changed, with my family, the way I am, the way I wake up in the morning, and joy and gratitude. And of course, I want to be sharing more in that with people, because I really believe this work is so profound when you start asking questions and you start doing the inner healing. And of course, there's many layers to all of that, many layers. And in my future videos, I'll share all of that with you, because some of that requires, it's not always just right away, peachy. Sometimes you have to go through identity crisis in a way, because your ego is so strong, your ego is so preoccupied with keeping you busy, involved in doing things all the time, acquiring things, looking for validation in other people. But when you go through this kind of like ego death, or some people call it dark night of the soul, and I'm sure some of you already experienced it in a way. If you're attracted to this channel, listening to me now, you're probably searching for answers. And sometimes you go through this awakening and you go through this dark night of the soul, and you have to dig out all the things that not working, your old beliefs, your old programs. And it's important to do the shadow work, it's important to do inner child work, it's important to do ancestral healing work. There's a lot of layers to all of that. And I'm so happy and grateful that I came across this information, that I was able to heal myself, that I came into this mastery now where I'm staying strong in my voice and staying strong and believing in this profound knowledge. And I'm not afraid to share it, I'm not afraid to show up. And I'm excited for everybody who's going to be listening to my videos here on YouTube. And I'm also present on Facebook and Instagram. Elena Visionary is the name I go by in all of my social media accounts. And I'm so happy that you've listened to this video. Please share with me in the comments what your awakening story was like. I would like to get to know you better. So hit subscribe bell, like this video, and I hope to see you in more of my videos. And I'm so grateful for you to be here.